Welcome back to THC TV with Big T. On this week's episode, we're making biscuits. Medicated, of course. I love me some good biscuits, you know? Not that Popeye shit that'll choke you to death, even though I still eat their biscuits because I'm a fat fuck. On this week's episode, you need some all-purpose flour, some baking soda, baking flour, and some salt. We're gonna need 2 cups of flour. Always take a knife and top it off, because this is the only time in life I follow the rules, is when I'm baking. You know, it's a little strange that I break rules my whole life, but this is where I don't, because this is where you can mess up. You can improvise when you're cooking, but when you're baking something, it's a science. So you want the exact amount. I'm going, I know I said 2 cups, this is a 1/2 cup spoon. Boom. Teaspoon baking powder, baking soda. Let's top this off, so I don't need it. We don't need those big biscuits. A table and 1/4 of salt. I'm not doing it over the bowl. God forbid my hand gets heavy and goes into it. Just some biscuits, so you don't have to go above and beyond organic this. And I'm doing this all as I have the buttermilk and the marijuana butter chilling, freezing in the freezer, because that's the secret to good biscuits. Cold buttermilk and ice cold butter. Nice and mixed. Now let me get the star of the show. I chopped it beforehand so it's nice and cold. Oh, look at that. It's just a work of art. Look, oh, I just want to eat that. Like when you're a kid and you're playing with the Play-Doh and it really looked like spaghetti for a second, but thank God you didn't eat it. This you can eat. All-purpose flour, baking soda, baking powder, butter from the freezer in cubes. Look at that. Oh yeah. You want to mix it around with a fork till they're all coated and everything's mixed together. So when they're baking, all that butter is gonna melt and just go in throughout all the butter, flakiness, just moisture, and of course medication. That when I had a big bowl of white in front of me, that would be for a medical marijuana show than for bagging up and sniffing, you know? You just want to press the butter and flour so it's all mixed together. You want the butter chilled. I might have left it in a little too cold, but that's all right. I want a nice flaky butter, milk, marijuana biscuit. Then the opportunities are endless, you know? You do a little green eggs and ham, a little bacon, egg, and cheese, cook the eggs in a little marijuana butter. That's if you want to start your day off right. You want a cup of it. Look how cold it is. And of course, the trusty rubber spatula. You just want to fold this through. Anytime I work with flour, it just brings me back to my days of partying. And I wasn't a big breaking out blow like this, like the 80s on the table. And people would do it off my tits. That was the thing. But you want to mix the flour and the butter and the buttermilk just till it's combined. Put a little flour down on the board. You put it down. You don't want a rolling pin because it'll ruin everything you just did. You want to pat it out to about a 1/2 inch thick. Add a little flour on top so it doesn't stick to your hands. Colonel Sanders ain't got shit on me. Now listen, you just fold it. Boom. Gently pat it down. It's not your ex-girlfriend. And you do this like 4 or 5 times. You want it down a 1/2 inch thick, and you're still smearing the bits of cold butter throughout the biscuit. Why regular butter when you got weed butter? Make it real nice and fucking just medicated all over. Top, bottom, middle. I'm Big T, man. Edible King of New York. And then from here, there's so much you can do. A big thing trending nowadays is cinnamon bun biscuits. Then you can medicate the cinnamon flavor with the butter on top, the icing. You can trifecta the medication and really just disappear for a couple days. I'm Big T, I'll improvise. Boom, look at that. Boom. Into a piping hot oven, preheated 475. Oh man, sounds Sounds like they're ready. Oh. Wow. Minga. Look at those. Golden brown, beautiful biscuits. And the favorite part of the show, the taste test. Pop one of these bad boys out. Look at that. Look at that. It all comes from smoking weed and watching the Food Network. No schooling here, people. Look at that medication. You know what? I'm doubling down. It's on Big T. Little medicated butter inside the biscuit. Oh, man. Taste that. Oh, man. That was amazing. Everything you want in a biscuit. Biscuits, the flakiness, the crunchy outside, the soft inside. Look at that. Look at the levels. See? Oh, you don't need the canned stuff. You can make it at home and medicate it. This is what I'm talking about, people. And now, you have biscuits for days. Get some sausage gravy. Turn them into cinnamon buns. The world is yours. Once you eat too many and you fall asleep, then the bed is yours. But this has been another episode of